First of all, don't tell me what to do. Ding dong.
سبحان فالق الإصباح.
Yes, right. It is I, says me, and all who agree are three, because we're only we, and it's me. And the Big V, the veteran, is back to light the fuse, infidels. We've got the demo comp strapped to the interior, ready to pull it and light it up, make it blow. It's HMG Channel Attitude.com live at Bin Hamin. YouTube channel, twitch.tv/Hamin Media. And you never know who might show up.
You want to laugh, Russo?
Do we ever, baby? And we're back at it. Back in the saddle. Had a banger locker room this morning with Big Stevie Cool. I know you guys missed it last week, but there was plenty of world headlines to catch up on, conspiracy horseman talk, and all the stupid wrestling news that you can stomach. Over 2 hours this morning for the FLR. And I want to say thanks to all of our new channelattitude.com subscribers, especially subscribing to HMG, even though you can see me on both platforms. Lucky to be on Russo Brand and his Patreon as well. Master Shoot was a great time this week. Get me Hate Bot. And before you do that, get me the goddamn Vet. How's it going, Vet? Good to see you, pal.
Oh, it's great. You know, I can't wait to have my own bots that come after me. And did you like Becky's little take on that? Tony Khan
she
tweet?
got her shit in, you know, like, and I like that stuff in wrestling. Like, that's how we should be using social media, especially if you're in a cold war and half-ass covert war where everyone's crazy shit. Like, rib on it. It's obviously there's something ain't right there. If that's what you're focusing on and what you're putting out into the universe and exposing yourself, like, it's just like everybody laugh at me like I want to be humiliated. And, you know, I'm just like, why? Where's the big brother, man? Like, hire me to be the big brother. I will make sure none of that happens, because Tony Khan could have been a reclusive personality, but these things with the Samoa Joe hug, walk away, and all that shit is just like, it just kills the aura of the company and reinforces it as like the antisocial nerd table. But we're all wrestling nerds. I don't want to discredit that, but it's like the same, you know, like ill kind of feeling. And I feel bad because I'm sure he just wants a friend, man. It's probably not easy for him.
Yeah, well, you just you have billions of dollars, you can buy your own friends. But,
or Twitter.
Right, yeah. Well, before we get back into that, one of the funniest things, the layers of comedy in Becky's tweet is that, bro, the WWE does pipe in booze. You know what I mean? That's the genius of it. It's like, but as for Tony, it's like you said, he's a fan, you know what I mean? And he's getting to do what he wants. I can't be too mad at him. And the one good thing is, though, for like the people, most of the people that don't live in this social media wrestling bubble and stuff like that, they'll never see any of this stuff that Tony Khan does. They either watch TNT and TBS or they don't. Right. And they have no idea who he is or what he is. They just say, oh, this is the wrestling show. That's like the majority of, you know, the wrestling fans out there. And then we, in our bubble, we kind of sometimes get lost in it and think that everybody in the world that watches wrestling is just like us. They're up on all the news, all the dirt, all that stuff, and they follow all this stuff. And the truth is they don't. I know. I conduct my own field research to wrestling fans every day of all kinds of people, ages, backgrounds, cultures, and whatever, and they have no idea about a lot of the stuff that's going on. They just take the TV product at face value. So, you know,
one of my new favorite things to do, I did it yesterday. We had a lunch meeting with Immortal promoter Mike King and Triple D from Dippin' Donuts, and we're having some slices, and there's a table of, they had to be 80 to 90-year-olds, like probably 13 of them, could be their last lunch, most of them, but you know, they're over there, and then a couple other people in the dining area, and I go, anybody know who Jungle Boy is? Jungle Boy. Nobody says nothing. Like somebody looks over the shows like, what's this crazy guy doing? 10 minutes later, I go, anybody seen Kenny Omega? nobody bats an eyelash. Like, that's what it is. Like, we think this shit's so important. It's fucking goddamn ridiculous.
Well, you for that crowd, you could say Roman Reigns and get the same reaction.
That's,
so
I agree.
We all got to keep things in perspective, you know.
I think I yelled dewdrop too.
Dewdrop. Oh well, that should have got a response.
But yeah, man, it's a good day here at HMG, doing great business all week long with horseshoegenetics.com. I talked off air a little bit. I just got a big business boner, man, just trying to get to the next level. I love the dopamine hit I get from finding opportunities to create and take something into a new frontier in my life. So it's been an exciting week since I've been back, but I wanted to say off air, so as genuine as it is on air, that thank you for filling in last week. You did great. You do a great job on every show. The feedback on everything this year. You're a 2-time Hamin Award winner, which you got to send me your address in DMs on Twitter so I can get those shipped out to you in the next week here. But yeah, man, just awesome appreciation for everything you did, so I can unload a little burden and then come back and do the next 120 days straight, you know.
Well, you deserve it. And everybody here makes it easy. I just show up and talk about wrestling.
Well, it's necessary, man. Absolutely.
Yes, talking about wrestling is necessary.
It's necessary. It's necessary to have good content, especially when we have subscription at channelattitude.com. And the response, Vince feels like 1,000 pounds lifted off his shoulders or giving birth after a year. And the response has been great. Numbers are going up. And you guys have been awesome in helping to share that, hey, it's up and running. It's badass. And definitely subscribe to Russo Brand and Hamin Media Group.
Yeah.
And,
channel Attitude out of beta, fully up and running, you know, with got all the people's profiles on there. It's cool. If you guys haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. It's pretty nice. It was in beta so long and it was so functional that I forgot it was still in beta. And then when they made the announcement saying Channel Attitude's up, I'm like, what are you talking about? It's been oh, that's right. Yeah. So now we got to finalize, and it's looking pretty nice.
Yeah, now we can polish it up, add some other bells and whistles, and get to create new content. You know what I mean? Instead of having to worry about that being the burden of it. But everything's been great feedback from you guys. And like I said, making our subscribers into our advocates. And a lot of you guys have been doing awesome work with that, with Twitter and whatnot. I see all that's going on. So thank you very much for helping us spread the word, you guys, to your followers and family, friends, whoever else, wrestling bros, wrestling hoes, Rizettes, and everybody else in between, man. But yeah, that a couple of AEW news items before we get to the show. I covered this on the Friday Locker Room. Interesting, but a guy we know very well, and I got to work with for about a year and a half, Pat Buck, joins AEW just days after leaving WWE. So, Buck, really worked his ass off to help develop WrestlePro, a lot of carny twists and turns in the way, working with Hawkins and Myers and Kevin Matthews and making it their thing. And then Kevin Matthews taking to Alaska. I think that was an awesome move. Like, that was a statement, you know what I mean? And they're the only ones running there. And every time everyone goes there, I just saw Killer Cross's videos from there. Just looks incredible, man. I really got that's in my next 5 years is to go up there for about 2 weeks and do something. So you're really.
Did the Alaskan Assassin get booked?
No, he was out with his sister hunting moose.
Yes. They married yet? I don't know what's going on there.
Alaska marriage for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a deep cut right there, man. That's just for you and I. But yeah, man. And then Buck got to co-agent with Michael Hayes, the main event of Brock and Roman Reigns. That's a pretty goddamn, like, you're not going to make it on camera as a wrestler and you're a person that people know and you get that spot, you feel like you've accomplished something. And I know he was on the road for 11 days at a time, 1 day home with, I think 18-month, 24-month-old baby, and just getting 1 day and still having to be on conference calls and stuff. And then back out he goes. That's sacrifice for your family. Absolutely. And I think you have to weigh that you're in a marriage. You can't just saddle a wife with that and go. You got to have a good marriage. And if they're in Florida, this opportunity, which I think AEW with ROH, Dark Elevation, Rampage, and even though he's got a lot of guys, Dustin, QT Marshall, those guys an agent, Buck's coming right off of agenting the top main event match there. That's, that's a good spot for him because that's maybe 2-3 days or even 4 or 5 days worth of work, but he's not on the road. He's in Florida where he already is located. And, he gets to see his family. So Pat Buck and I worked together. I managed him after a year's feud with the Insurgency, and the Iron Man Rob Conway as the Iron Man. And then he also won the OVW tag team titles as top shelf talent with JD Michaels. So, I worked with Buck for a lot of years and never hurt me. Always super respectful, and a guy who's sometimes quiet, and you can take that as weakness or paranoia, but we came from a time of cutthroat dudes, you know what I mean? And Buck seen a lot of guys come and go while he was waiting for his shot. And then it took not getting it for him to start his own shit to get him noticed. And you want to know who came out of there? MJF. So if you want to know who the fuck that, a top talent, and they don't go around gloating with that, you know what I mean? But absolutely, they had a big hand in that, along with other stars. So they did a good thing in the Northeast with Indy with WrestlePro, and now taking it to Alaska. I think there's infinite opportunity, and with him being back there and doing that, that could also help there too. So interesting. Quit WrestleMania on Sunday, Fabe on Monday. By Wednesday, you got a new fucking gig at AEW the following week. That's welcome to the wrestling biz, Briz.
Well, knowing Pat Buck, I'm sure he had that lined up before he decided to walk out the door. Yeah. Diplomatically, Pat Buck is a unique individual, and you don't necessarily see the like of him often, but he definitely was a guy that I got the sense that because of his passion for wrestling, would do whatever it took to make it in whatever terms making it meant to him.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, because Pat Buck's a New York guy.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that the reason that he's located in Florida now is because he moved to Florida with the WWE.
Oh, yes.
Once they pulled out and decided to put all their eggs down in that basket, there were some guys that
bounced.
That followed suit because they were just like, this was that era, the era of the guys, what do I have to do to get a job? Era.
And our listeners can't understand that, where we had a system of contract guys and non-contract guys. It was the haves and the have-nots, and in the middle were the cool kids that they knew were going to cross over. And then, even though they hadn't yet, those guys still had to be cool with the bottom guys, but some guys were just there to live out their local dream. Mm-hmm. But they would do business for guys who are on top. You know what I mean? Like Dre Blitz might never get signed. He fucking worked with everybody. Man Beast worked with everybody. So that it's a weird thing to explain on air, because that underlying you can go so far, but you can't go that far. And because you're not in the real over guy contract locker room, you're here on your own dime. It's a weird thing. And guys like Santino Marella, JTG, Serena crossed that line, APOC, Rick Victor, and it's like, well, you don't leave us behind in the dust, and they don't, but they kind of have to. It's a weird thing that we go through that way. And some guys couldn't take it and moved right down for FCW, where there was no non-contract program, and it fucked them up. And now I think Buck, I can't remember if he moved down there or not, but I think he went back to New York, and that's when they started Create a Pro, Wrestle Pro, and all that, and got it over. And then he went back to Florida after he got signed by WWE out of that. I'm not sure if he was an agent.
I think it was Florida first, Create a Pro next, because there was in that sort of like, what was this, like 10, 12, 13 years ago or whatever it was. there was a lot of people that just didn't know what the next move was going to be. So a lot of the whole reason they were at OVW is because of that WWE connection.
Getting a shot, right? Absolutely.
And people were moving from across the, myself included, yourself included.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were like, where's the place to go? Oh, this place, let's go. I don't care where I am now. This is where, yep, there you go. It's the Hustler Rip Rogers. Yes, it's fucking me. Yeah. So that's it. So I think that's basically what it was, and I don't remember. I just remember hearing from other certain people. So I obviously I wasn't there, so I don't know. But I remember hearing from certain people that Buck went down there, and he was like willing to do whatever, be a referee, be production, be set up the ring, whatever it was, because now with everything kind of up in the air with that. And nobody knew necessarily at that time Hunter's big plans for the Performance Center and all that stuff. That had not really been. Yeah. He probably had that in his mind, but no one else knew.
Let Ace and Kern set it up on their dime. Fuck it over. I'll cut their throats and come in and take it and make it my own thing.
Yeah, pretty much. But whatever. So yeah, I think he was one of those that kind of went down there again on his own dime, starting all over. And he did things too that like you mentioned some of the gimmicks that he had, but there was other ones. Like the first time I remember seeing him, he was doing like the flamboyantly gay gimmick with feather boas and prancing around the ring, and then, right. And he was platinum Pat Buck with Gothic Mayhem. Like he tried everything. He
did Buck Fu, where he was like a MMA fucking kung fu guy and shit, and then he was with Conway, and then after we had that year run, he turned on Conway, and there's the infamous "I Love You, Ben Hamin" promo that's on my YouTube. So Pat Buck loves me. He said it publicly on TV, and
can't take it back now.
No, never. And then they were kind of spinning their wheels, and JD Michaels was catching a lot of flack for kind of being Sean, like a cosplay version of Sean, which is a rough thing to do while you're with contract guys.
That guy was ridiculous. Like he didn't even try to.
Yeah, but that's coming off the indies and not knowing walking into there, JD's a good ass worker. You can't take that away from him. But
if you copy Shawn Michaels exactly, you better be.
Yeah, you
better fucking be.
But then, dude, what else people didn't know is that really helped step up the show is JD's an excellent tailor and shit, man. Like he made all the top shelf talent fucking leather gear, and then when they gave him the belts because they looked so good and they could work with anybody, and they were cocky stuff. And Fang, they did good pre-tapes together. They take JD would take the belt, and then they'd undo the belt, and JD would make a strap that would match the fucking outfits they had on. Every week he had like 4 or 5 different strap colors, and like when we're just living on fucking tuna fish and ramen noodles, that's them showing that they want it and to get the tape, and they did what it needed to be, and they elevated the tag division. They look good. So sometimes people might say whatever to try and cut somebody's throat, but I never had no issues with Buck, man. He always did good business. He never hurt me. He never fucking hurt any of the.
He won't do that. He definitely won't do that. So in that sense, he's definitely a total professional. Yep. I just find it amusing to imagine Pat Buck, knowing him as I knew him, to go up to Brock Lesnar and be like, all right, this is what we're going to do, Brock.
I thought, you know what I mean? Like, bro, you know what I thought the straw that broke the camel's back would be is when they had to break up the fucking Ronda thing with Charlotte in the back on there, and he got stiff for real.
Took a shoot punch, yeah.
He's like, fuck this. Like, they knew we were ribbing him, and Buck's like, I'm out of here. That was the fucking straw, bro, right there. Fucking A. But Pat Buck, good for you, man. Good job. Yep. Good job. And that's an OVW brother getting over. We all feel like we get over a little bit more. But the main thing is, I know it'll probably be a lot better for his marriage and for his kid to have him around the house. Absolutely.
Right.
And fuck the travel. The travel just fucks your body up.
Of course.
What else here? Jade Cargill forms a new stable on Dynamite. It appears Red Velvet, Kiera Hogan are now part of TBS champion Jade Cargill's baddie section. Do you think we can get in the baddie section or no?
Us? You and I?
Yeah, no. I think we're good.
We're not hot enough chicks to.
That's true. It's true. I got the tits to pull it off, but I don't think we're gonna get in there.
Yeah, they made no mention of the fact that the baddies was a faction. I just thought it was like an ongoing thing of like where she gets some like some ladies to sit out there and be
Should
like,
be, right? It
this
should
is
be
my
Instagram.
thing.
It should be Instagram models that are like
Right.
badass fitness chicks who have like 3 million followers who go live when it's their
Sure.
segment to come out. So you get multiple shit done, man.
Yeah, but instead, this time they just had Kiera Hogan and Red Velvet sitting in there, and I was kind of like, hey, isn't that Kiera Hogan and Red Velvet? But okay, if they want to start a faction called the Baddies, sure, go ahead. Everybody else is in a faction, so
it reminds me of Twinkle Toes when you say the baddies and the goodies instead of baby faces and heels.
The baddies. So.
Oh man, what else we got here? QT Marshall responds to fans upset over Satnam Singh's AEW debut. He was on Busted Open, I guess this morning. Must be, but talking about Satnam Singh's debut last night on AEW Dynamite, but noted that he was on he saw some of the negative things people were saying about him, even though he's a brand new talent. Satnam Singh, he's 1 in a billion. Literally in India, right? Is that
in
right?
India, yeah. 1 in 2 billion, perhaps.
He was the first ever Indian-born NBA draftee from India, and he's really special. I'm excited they got him out there, and obviously I read some of the stuff that people were saying about him. Listen, he's brand new. You got to give him a chance. I think the best way to put someone out there is to put him out there with guys with a lot of experience, and nobody knows what he's going to do. It's not like he's going for the world title right now. So as we saw last night after the Samoa Joe takes the ROH title, out comes this giant Indian dude, Satnam Singh, and with Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt, which I didn't know Sanjay was hired either. But so this is pretty much the exact thing as Dave Kapoor and fucking Great Khali,
Could be.
He's got an intro too on Shaquille O'Neal. His hands are huge. I mean, no offense to Samoa Joe, he's got a pretty big head, but his hands almost covered his whole entire head. It was a pretty cool sight to see. I mean, the guy obviously is impressive. He moves better than Khali, and so he hasn't had his knees blown out yet. But I'm thinking to myself, why you have Mahabali Shera? I mean, he's not as big as this fucking dude, but Mahabali Shera ain't small, bro. He's a big motherfucker. And he's OVW champ. He's been in Impact. He's been working. This guy hasn't worked a lick, and now you're going to have him just do the 911 choke slam spot as opposed to bring it up. And the other thing I'm going, what the fuck is going on in India, bro? Like when we were kids, you get some weird visual in your head of a second-tier caste system, a bunch of people sitting on trains who are skinny as fuck, or Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom, and America will whoop the fuck out of them. Now say that with Veer, Shanky, Jinder Mahal, Mahabali Shera, and this fucking big cocksucker. What is going on over there, dude? Is this ancient giant fucking DNA that's in some of these people in India, bro? Because this isn't what is a meglia? Is that
acromegaly? You mean
acromegalia? I don't think it's that, man. I think Shanky's arms are fucking super long like Dawson, because there's some 2% of leftover of the Anunnaki or fucking the giants or whatever you want to say that were there. And then this guy looks like a smaller version of what you would picture a 10-foot giant to be. He's only a 7-foot fucking 6 version. There's something old DNA in these guys. There just has to be, because if you had an army of these motherfuckers, they'd run over the goddamn they'd be go up flipping Humvees. 3 of these guys could fucking roll one over the size of these son of a bitches. And I pop because Rick Vickery goes 30 billion Indians or 30 million Indians on the planet, and you can't get one of them over. Not one of these guys has ever really gotten over to what it needs to be.
Yeah, well, I don't know why that is. Well, it's probably typical just American racism or whatever that it only wants people to get over so far.
The right way. They're not booked the right way to get over. Jinder should be a fucking top heel.
He's Canadian. But the thing, to your point, maybe they only had those. Maybe every guy that becomes a giant in India, that's the only people they have, and we sign them all. We never know. Maybe it is just one of those things. But I don't know, man. I don't. Great Khali got pretty over, I guess. I mean, he was pretty rotten too, but who cares?
Well,
Like,
they
what
blew
else?
his knees out at DSW. Like that, when he first got there, he could walk, but all that rib training, they fucked him over on purpose.
Yeah.
So
But even if you'd even seen him before that, he never was going to be like he was. I mean, look, when you're that big, you can't fit in a leg press or a squat rack, so you can't develop your lower body the same way.
You know, I was thinking of that because when in Mexico, my only beef was I go, they made these fucking beds for little Mexicans, dude, because I'm 6'4", 6'3", and my feet would hang off the edge. And sometimes I don't sleep, fetal position on my side, but I'm going, why is this different than my bed at home? That's a fucking 7.5 footer. Every bed like that is it stops at 6 foot. I go, I'm thinking, dude, what's it like to really be Andre, to really be Kali, and have to fucking try and go through life like that? Or this guy here, Satnam gimmick, like it's impressive to see sideshow humans, like freak show humans like that. Almost too standing next to MVP last week.
Yeah,
was an incredible sight because I've stood face to face with MVP and he looked like a fucking toddler next to that guy.
Yeah, as you said, I remember hearing you say that on your review. But yeah, I mean, the thing that sucks though is like you're kind of when you're looking at a giant, a freak show attraction, basically. You have the pressure that you've got to get this guy out and make as much money as you can as soon as you can. But they're never ready. So the payoff never really comes, right? Like these guys, you put guys that, you don't want them to be the guy. You don't want them to be the champion. You just want them to be the sideshow attraction, the freak show. But that doesn't make sense because how do you beat them? That's why they don't make him the champ, because they don't know how to beat him. And then they just sort of languish in that middle area and they don't get over. And then they're like, sorry, you're not getting over and whatever. And then we just don't see him anymore. It's kind of this is one of those outdated
spot, bro. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it's an outdated carny notion to have, this is like, hey, look, we've got this giant and we've got this, little person and we've got a woman, like this is all like holdovers from the literal carnival days.
What about that? Where's the big Indian broad? If you got fucking dudes this size, there's got to be moms that size, right?
Well, they did have one, and she's never been on television since the WWE signed her. Like, she was in one of the
Holly's daughter, isn't it?
I don't think so. It's just some other unrelated lady, but she was in one of the Mae Young Classics. I don't remember if it was the first one or the second one or both, but they've never done anything with her, and she's pretty tall, probably at least 6 feet. But I don't know, man. It's just one of those things. Like, they can't do enough that they need the champion to do. If you're looking at a champion as like somebody that's going to do a lot of press and, be an ambassador and stuff like that, you're not going to put like a foreign guy in a lot of English speaking media outlets to do interviews and stuff like that. Well,
that's why you got Sanjay as a handler, you know what I mean? And he's great. And dude, the thing is, I'm like, if you want to do the Indian thing and you guys got a guys who can't work and he's just a big muscle, you got George Joel. That guy's a phenomenal worker that they have under contract right now. Lucky to book him on the Indies plenty myself, the Punjabi Lion. And then you got Hakeem Zayn, another great little mouthpiece, weaselly dude who can do great work and then pull a big match if you need him to. And who was the other? And then Mahabali Shira. Like, why have like that? Now that's a squad. You know what I mean? Instead, it just seems like this is Great Khali Part 2, a knockoff version. And the excuse is always, we want to get into the Indian market. Well, do you? Like, that's a freak show, sideshow thing. If you really want to appeal to India and Bollywood, that's an interesting lens to look at wrestling through. Why aren't all your pre-tapes and shit like that shot in a certain movie way from different Bollywood directors and bring that culture to the US. And then they've tried to do it with Sanjay and Impact when they bring out the girls dancing and it turns into like a Disney fucking Epcot Center show of Welcome to India. No, show me something badass. That's you got these fucking guys. They look impressive as hell, but we never get them over.
The thing about look, first of all, one thing I want to say about that Indian market comment that you hear all the time when you usually hear it in relation to the WWE, like we're trying to break in, dude. Get over your fucking selves. You're not trying to do anything. If you wanted to get in the market, you could do it. Matter of fact, you are in the market because they know.
That's
What's that? Oh, that's you.
That's a big motherfucker right there, dude. That's Canada's tallest man.
Ooh.
Then you want to know the.
And what happened after that? $5 face slap, right?
No, he went out there and refereed the midgets match. It was awesome, dude. They didn't even come up. They didn't even come up to his fucking knee, bro. And he counted the pin on the top turnbuckle. He didn't get down. It was a midget hockey Canuck versus midget Trump. It was a phenomenal match, bro.
Okay, sidebar over. So, but about the Indian market or any foreign market for that matter. The WWE is in all those markets. I don't know what they mean when they say they're trying to break into that market. And I'll tell you something else. Those people that are in those markets, especially India, this is part of my market research. Okay. Right. I talk to people from that area of the world that are wrestling fans. They do not they know who the Great Khali is, but when I ask them who's their favorite wrestler, it's like John Cena, The Undertaker, because to them it's a shoot. Like, even if they don't truly believe it's a shoot, they treat it like it's a shoot. They act like it's a shoot. They play along to a degree. So to them, it's not about, hey, this guy's from my country. They like that, but they also just like what they perceive strength to be. Sure. So if you see a guy like John Cena beating everybody, he's going to be your favorite wrestler. You see a guy like The Undertaker who's just so awe-inspiring and tough, he's going to be your favorite wrestler. They don't give a shit about Jinder Mahal. I'm 100% sure that story about Triple H and the taxi cab is 100% true, because Triple H is way more over than anybody that they've ever had from there to those people, because they've seen the world stage of WrestleMania and all that stuff. They watch those channels, they get those shows, they see that, and they look at who they perceive to be strong in the booking, and then that's the people that they
build them that like. Cena's over. You give Cena let's take the Saudi model and put it in India, right? So what does the Saudis get? Mansoor and Ali. What do the fucking Indians got? These giant bastards already. You build something small where Jinder's got heat going into it, and that Cena's coming back, and he says, "You're not stealing my spotlight and even though he's from Canada or whatever, in my own country." And that's where you have Jinder go over and get made. That's how you really bring it to it, because what you're saying is 100% right. So the guys who got juice that need to make guys, you got to make them in India to make the people believe that they have a champion that is their own.
Well, the reason why they don't do it is because there are certain guys that, like, it's great if you have somebody for that market that they can look at, but the rest of the time you're here in America and you're touring these American cities, and you got to deal with Jinder Mahal the rest of the time, which, look, I'm sorry. I know you guys are high on Jinder Mahal. I'm not. I don't think he's a good promo. I don't think he's a good worker. I don't think there's anything about him other than height and that physique that he got himself. But other than that, not a fan. And that's sort of the general consensus I get from anybody that would be like in the market. Like they yeah, Jinder Mahal, he's good, okay, but John Cena, that's the reaction I get. So the point is, you got to get somebody that's going to be good enough for the United States, good enough for the rest of the world, that also India or whatever the target is going to latch on to. And you can do that. But they don't. They only want to get certain people to a certain level. But then again, that's a whole other conversation, because now everybody's capped at how over they're going to get at this particular moment. So it's not a question that we're going to have the answer to in any easy way, but I think everybody can be getting way more over than they are, and I don't think that the majority of Americans care who it is. If they would have went with Shinsuke Nakamura, he'd be way more over than he is now, but they didn't. So now it's like, eh. But then again, you got a guy like Roman is like, well, I want to do something with him. I've wrestled everybody else, that's how else can you explain what they did on SmackDown as like
they missed it. They missed it on SmackDown.
They did, but why would he even be there unless Roman's like, hey, I didn't work with him yet. Like that could be the only.
If Roman's hurt, he should just be doing the 90-day or 30-day clause and getting a scrub opponent, beating him in 30 seconds.
They don't even need the 30-day clause. Brock Lesnar would disappear for months with that thing, so it doesn't. We don't even need to worry about that anymore. But anyway, like I said, no easy answers. But I think that anybody that
the answer, pal, hit me, Shanky. That's Shanky's over, man. Come on, dude.
I mean, I don't not like Shanky.
And Veer, even though they effed that up kind of out of the gate too, like
the time was the Rumble.
Yeah.
They didn't do it at the Rumble, and they waited too long, and the people turned on him.
Yep. So we have these talents. There's money on every one of those guys we've mentioned, from Hakeem, Zayn, George, Veer, Shanky, Jinder, this big son of a bitch here, and everybody in between. And we haven't got one of them over. But I'll tell you, the most over guy that you're going to see today, he's back to light the fuse from the Team Death Proof Dojo. It's the Chris Silvio.
Well, we meet again, my friend, Mr. Hamin. I've heard from some listeners out there, so a few of the fans of Light the Fuse, that you've been on a roll, a tangent, a tirade, if you will, regarding AEW Dynamite. So I'm here today to not only bust your balls and bust your beard, but say hello to you, my friend, the vet, and the Light the Fuse fam. What's up, guys?
Hello.
Ding dong. Hello.
Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Welcome back. And you gave me the private virtual tour yesterday of the Kayfabe Dojo over there. Team Death Proof, man. Looks awesome. I love how evil everything looks, bro. And it's definitely you. And I just want to say congratulations. I know how much work you've been putting into it, dude, and now starting to pay off dividends, and really the shock and awe of, I got to make this work, and this is my shit, and I own it, is there now, man. But it's just going to drive you to do greater things. I have complete confidence that you'll be as more of a success than you even thought.
Thanks, man. And it has been crazy. Like I told you when I started this thing, like it's going to be a lot of work. I told the, Hamin family, hey, I need some time to put this shit together. But even I didn't have any idea of the actual amount of work and shit I'd have to do to get here. Like I'll keep it brief, man, but I was supposed to be in the door of this place April 1st. And when I got here April 1st, they were still doing demolition because they remodeled the place and took out like a bunch of walls and shit before I got here. So it was like a mess. I'll send you sometime, Hamin, what it looked like when I walked in. Mm-hmm. So like I had to be like part construction Chris, part coach Chris, but we somehow kept shit together, made it work. We've been running classes and personals. I had Jamie Stanley from NWA up here the other day, putting some work in. So we're moving right along, man. I've been putting 12, 14-hour days, but, I'm still here. I'm still looking good, hanging out with my boys once again.
Yeah, man. Well, it's awesome, dude, to see it all go down, and I can't wait to see all the video footage. Then I got hot because I was about to go live, and I see Chris Silvio's going live from Team Death Proof Dojo in 4 minutes. I'm like, not bad enough that he's not on the show. Now he's competing with us in live time slot to try and split the audience. He's that cold-hearted of a son of a bitch, but we still love him.
What it is, it's crossover audience.
Okay.
So I had the thousands that were on my stream. Now jump over here to your stream. But I do have a question for you, Hamin. It's been a while since we've chatted much. Have you missed me? And if so, how much?
Oh, dude, so much, because, Rick Vickery does a great job at setting me up to shine and do knowledge. But when it's you and I, it's a different, like with anybody, when Vet and I going back the way we talk psychology, but our rapport I enjoy, and you always uplift me, especially because I can be toxic New York and you're good-hearted Southern Silvio, and that brings out a better version of me. So it is more cathartic than our listeners would know. But I got to say, since you've been gone, dude, I have put over a lot of that first hour because they've changed the format. He's firing all of his big bullets to try and get people to stay and watch. not a wrong idea, an interesting one. But then at about 5-10 minutes past the hour, the show comes to a screeching halt, and the last 40 minutes feel like 2 hours, kind of. So if he's an analytics guy, if the fall off's there and he's just trying to make bank on the first hour, I understand what he's doing, and it's a strong choice. And I've liked a lot of matches, especially Punk and his selling. I like the way things were set up, one seg after another, and he's gone. Somebody's pulling him back from overbooking things and run-ins, and the things are starting to settle. And there has been a change since you left in some of that. So I don't know who's playing the big brother role fully. I know they do need more producer help in some areas, but I've been pretty positive, or tried to be like, when it's good, I'm going to fucking put it over that it's good. It's just that we see so much bad every week. The shows sometimes come off as bitching about everything. So there's been a lot of good rants on this in the last month, I think, on Light the Fuse, bro.
I'll have to go back and check those out. Would you say that's been the biggest change since I've had a hiatus, just that structure of the show?
Yeah, I'd say it was kind of happening a little bit right before you had taken some time off. But
yeah, we talked about it. Even the shows that I've did with you guys, we were talking about how he's front loading, and so it started a little bit before, but now it's a little bit more consistent, let's say.
Cujo, she'll be here shortly.
All right. Yeah, give the people what they want. We missed Genocide. Awesome job watching her. But yeah, that you're spot on with, we were kind of not predicting it. We're just like, it's an interesting choice. And then they really locked it down. And we've talked about the politics of wrestling, but dude, CM Punk selling is just so good. It's so good. Like, shoot, reverse, fall down after the knee. So simple, so ripped, so OVW. And just like, instead of where's my next spot, and we go here, up, paint, and you just see the difference between indie and real working, and I got to give it over up because I was kind of pissed they weren't featured last night. Max Caster back with the real raps, with the fucking real snaps, trying to pop each other in the ring, and Punk pops. And then we have that real magic where we see between two performers the aura of them coming out, where one's influencing the other while doing their stuff. Then the ass boys fucking on the outside, air humping towards FTR. FTR has to pop in the ring because they're just ribbing each other. Like, once that happens, all the bullshit falls away and we're just in the moment. You know what I mean? So there's been some good in the moment stuff that I've really enjoyed in the last month.
Right. Whereas if you did that in the WWE, they would be forced to get cartoon mad.
Yeah.
Oh, how dare you thrust your pelvis at me? Right. Yeah. So
the pelvic thrust is actually an insult where I come from, believe it or not. You don't want a pelvic thrust at me. But no, I mean, I agree, dude. Watching this run of CM Punk is the best version of CM Punk I've seen in his entire career. I don't know what happened in those 7 years off. I don't know what water he was drinking, but just watching that match last night with Penta, phenomenal match, and he paced it a little bit differently to, cater to Penta as well, but it was well structured, well paced, and the knee thing was so brilliant. I'm 99% sure he was attempting a top rope Hurricane Rana, and myself being a flyer, every once in a while the shit just doesn't work. And when it doesn't work, your best option is to sell. And that's what Punk did. Yeah. It looked like a crash, and it was, and he started selling his knee, and he did it through the rest of the match. That's fucking brilliant. I was watching with Jenna. She's like, oh, what happened to Punk? Is he hurt? I go, this is what I think's going on. He, missed that and knew he had to sell it. But it just shows how brilliant of a performer he is. I love that match. Punk was great. And like how you guys were talking about front loading the show, I thought their choices last night with the main event too were good as far as front loading it with an awesome match and a main event you want to stick around for. I personally stuck around for it, even though a couple of the later matches weren't necessarily my jam. I wanted to see that main event.
Absolutely. Yeah. Did you like how they went into the GTS finisher, kind of competitive on the cell, dip one and hit it? There wasn't any big rhythm, and it was bing out and then went there abruptly. I kind of liked it. I wanted to get your opinion on that.
I liked the actual finish, the way he caught him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I did like that. And the only thing is like with the selling of the knee, he did eventually just end up doing the shit that he was going to do anyway. So that's like a minor critique of that, because that shouldn't have been possible. It's not like your knee magically gets better after a few, if you blow it, and it's not fixed until, you get some work done. So it was really good. And the people bid on it. Like you saw some of the crowd reactions where they're like, like, is he really? Did he really? Because it almost didn't even look like Penta knew. Like when he shot him in and came in after him, it was almost like he didn't expect him to fall down or something.
Oh no, right, yeah.
So
and after we saw Boogs go down with that, do stupid spots, win stupid prizes. You know what I mean? Like you're like looking when you see that. It makes that sell a lot more real after we've seen a guy go down recently.
So originally I bit on the idea that the Anaconda Vice would be the finish, because I figured if he was going to go to that length to protect that slip on the rope, that he would probably just want to end it with something where he didn't have to pick the guy up. But they did what they did, and it was good, and I liked it. And as far as the rhythm of it, like sometimes it shouldn't be formulaic. Sometimes it should be just a little bit different. And to the overall big picture of what you guys are saying about Punk and the way he's been doing these matches lately, what were we always told, guys? Watch what everybody else is doing and do something different.
Yeah, do opposite.
So if everybody's going to do their paint by numbers, I called this all in the back and now we're going to run through it stuff, you do something a little different, a little less. You don't have to do that. Let them do that. You're going to do this. I'm going to make people think I really got hurt, whatever the case may be. So that's what's genius about it. And he probably had a lot of time in that 7 years off to reflect and watch other people and say, this is not what I would do. This is not how I would do it. And if I ever come back, it's probably one of the things that itch probably just grew so much that he had to scratch it at some point, and you got Tony calling him and prodding him every once in a while and everything to come back. But that's what happens. Anytime that you're obsessed with something for any point in time, you might get away from it, but it always kind of draws you back in. And then you start thinking, the wheels start turning. It's like, well, what would I contribute to this if I was to come back to it? Right. That's why we're seeing what we're seeing right now from him.
Well, I guess all great jazz players, you have to learn all the time and everything there is, so then you can then break the rules and play it your own way, and it'll make even more sense, and you can see the artistry in it. The one thing I got to shit on, bro, I don't know him. I'm sure he's a lovely gentleman. The Alex Abrahante shit. You gotta go. You can't do
the gimmick. You mean
like a fucking goof while this match is going on, and I'm into it, and then I look over there and I'm Cornholio, and I'm like, what the fuck is going? Get this guy out of here, bro. At least get him caught doing something in the first 30 seconds, and you're out of here, right? And he's gone, and now we can have this match because we're having this beautiful match, and there's like a guy over in the corner masturbating to it. It looks like to me, bro. I'm like,
he could be under that rope. You can't
it was that good of a match.
It was that great. You
bro,
can't do it.
I don't know if you remember, but the first time they came out like that, and I saw him dressed like fucking Igor, I laughed so loud and hard for a good minute and a half straight. Like
it's straight out of what is it, Dr. Young Frankenstein? The fucking Igor from that is what he reminds me of.
And like considering who he was before, he was just like a guy, like he would wear a suit and then he dressed a little cooler with like gloves. We know who he is. Penta's different. He's a mask. He does darker themes. So the change for Penta wasn't that big, but for this guy to just all of a sudden be, a demon or a Igor.
Stupid as fuck.
I don't know what he is. Just wear a fucking suit, dress like Sinister Minister, but your own way, and everything will be cool.
Let him go get coffee, bro.
He's trying to be supportive. He's trying to support Penta.
Dude, Penta is up here. Punk is up here. This guy is indie manager down here, bro. I'm saying, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but to put him out there with those dudes, even if anybody's there, it pulls focus. You know what I mean? And then to look over and see this clown shit, no, they're with that. They're undervaluing what Penta is to them. To be honest with you, even if he can't cut the promo in fucking English, and that's what you needed this guy for, cut the promo in Spanish, bro, and have it ready to go on a pre-tape with the subtitles on there if you need to, or let the kids fucking learn Spanish. Like, who gives a shit? Like, he's that big of a star because his talent is that fucking good. And to leave that guy out there, it just makes it real Sesame
I
shit.
don't mind him out there, just the costume.
Costume. He's got to go. He's got to go.
I don't remember you having that much heat with him prior to him turning.
Not until last night when I looked over there and he was fucking grinding one out at ringside, bro. It was not good. It was not a good look.
I think he was pumping the tire.
Oh, yeah, he was pumping a grumpy. He was doing something. Then we go into Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus versus Red Dragon here. Man, Christian comes out on stage with a chance but heads back. I don't know why, instead of going to commentary. A lot of back and forth in this, but then they really get on Luchasaurus. But Luchasaurus, man, doing standing moonsaults and trying to chain and whatnot. I think Luchasaurus has kind of gotten over the hump too in the last 2 months, where someone broke it down because he's trying to not protect or not hurt guys, even though after what happened to Phoenix probably really fucked his head up, you know what I mean? But that really was on Phoenix getting his arm out and more than it was on Big Man, if you want to talk about what it looks like. But for a while, I think Luchasaurus was only at about 40% of how he should work. Last night, great athleticism for like, wow, a big man's doing that. And then when he needs to work bigger guy style, going into the buckles usually is where you see him try and take too much off and kind of exposes it. He's been going all out the last month, but and anyway, Jungle Boy is pretty over with the crowd, but Red Dragon does a lot of great reversals until we get to the point of where they hit Jungle Boy with a triple finish. Like, it's like a setup, I don't know, code breaker, pulling back, suplex, give him a fucking whop. And then 1, 2, I go, you better kick out. 1, 2, kick out, of course. Indie as hell. They just killed him with 3 finishers, and what they're going to use in the end isn't going to be as strong as what we saw. So it was just like, when we finally get there, we build this beautiful story for 10 minutes, and then we just kind of, the last 2 minutes, we throw it all away for a get your shit in fest when we don't need any of that in that story whatsoever, man. But what'd you guys think of this one? So
it took me a little bit to get into this, and I did not envy them because we had that emotional Punk and Penta match. Mm-hmm. So how the fuck are you going to follow that? And when they started, they had a little bit slower of a pace due to the way that Fish and O'Reilly work, which I enjoy. But I was like, man, is the crowd going to get into this? Then they started doing all of their spots, and the spots got over with the crowd. It may not have been how I would choose to lay the match out if I were producing the match, but I had to admit the crowd was getting crazy into it. They were doing stuff that looked cool. Everything was going good. That one spot they did where O'Reilly had Luchasaurus in a standing guillotine and Bobby Fish did his suplex on the other guy off the ropes. I thought they were going to land on Luchasaurus, so that was fucking crazy.
Yeah. You know what I hated was, and I hate it when he did it too, fucking O'Reilly gets hit, goes and does the WWE Moxley rock back on the second rope, comes back out, clotheslines. Hey, I'm on the cell, beat up, and I just got caught by the rope, but I can come back and hit you with clean offense. Nope, wrong. Everybody who does that on the indies sucks. When I watch their match, like, you can get hit, go back and catch off the second rope. When you come back up, you're the punching dummy to get hit again. You don't get offense off of the cell after taking 2 fucking shots. But that's just,
remind me to do that spot when we have our
NXT one. Yeah, why don't you do a no fucking handed headstand and do a backflip?
I don't do those anymore, but I will do the clothesline one to you. Yeah, even better. With this match, man, like, you're putting over Luchasaurus. The last couple months, I've been so much in coach and producer mode that I don't want to be overly critical, which is right now where my brain's going to. So
please do it.
I'm going to try to word this carefully. Luchasaurus is an incredible athlete. He can do some shit. I still think from a coaching standpoint, he could cater to his size a little bit more. One prime example being early in the match, he took one shot that wasn't too big of a shot from either O'Reilly or Fish, who are both, hard hitters, but they're not Luchasaurus. and he went down. And I remember something where he goes down and O'Reilly immediately hooks a heel hook. Kyle O'Reilly is my size and less wide. He doesn't have as much muscle mass. I wouldn't just heel hook Lucha. Now, if Lucha missed a moonsault and he's down with his leg hurt, sure, I can apply the heel hook. Then a little bit later, he's doing 1-2 trades with, I believe, O'Reilly. Again, O'Reilly's a hard hitter, but you don't trade when you're 6'5", 250 pounds. If
he did the thing in the corner where he got his leg caught and he put the other one up like he needed to push it down. Like it's so no, that's where you just crank the fucking dude, bro, and kick him off.
He forgets he's so big sometimes.
You're right.
Like when you do the 1-2s, and for the listeners, what that is I punch Hamin, Hamin punches me. So with the size differences, if I'm going against Luchasaurus, I'm probably going to throw 2 to maybe even 3 shots at Luchasaurus. But one of his punches equals 3 of mine. So when he hits me back, boom, I'm on a huge sell. Maybe he goes again, I duck it. I give him 3 more. 1, 2, 3, boom. One of his puts me on my ass over tea kettle. Then we go wherever the fuck we're going. But I just think, he's got to cater to his size a little bit more, and I think he'll get more over if he does.
I see you're absolutely right in all that, and he's getting more confident and taking some stuff out, but those are the fine-tuning lessons he needs from Team Death Roof Dojo right there. Vet, go ahead, buddy.
Well, on the Luchasaurus thing, I was just wanted to put out there that I was watching this particular segment at 1.2 times speed, in order to make sure I was able to get it all in and everything, and Luchasaurus appeared to be moving normally. So what that tells me is that he should probably just kick an extra gear into his movements. He's always been horrendously slow in everything that he does, and it just looks phony. So just a little bit extra. Speaking of giant lizards, did they repurpose Brandon Cutler's dragon graphic for Red Dragon's entrance package?
Well, I think so.
I know we haven't seen him use it for a while, and rightly so, but just maybe the eagle-eyed viewers can tell us in the chat if that's actually the same dragon or not. Yeah, other than that, this match was a match. Afterwards, when they had they had FTR come out and get a little dust up in, right. And then they just cut away from that. Like, oh, that's not interesting. Let's go to the interview.
What is up, man? Like that's crazy. Like you start business and that's where you shouldn't have gone away. Like, let them fight to the back, and we can come back there later after the interview and like it's still going on and they're trying to break it up.
Even if nothing happens, even if they just sort of like kind of walk away, at least show that it's been resolved in the moment before you're like, hey, next thing, something like that. Real quick too, did you want to say anything about the on-site what's the 2.0 getting their shoes took in at the airfield there? Or
well, that's the thing. They're like on site and like, well, I see you. So it's not really on site. They drive away in the car and leave those guys right out at the airport.
I guess it's only some of them, the other ones. Yeah.
I feel bad that I never know the dude's name from 2.0, but
they keep changing it. They just changed it.
Yeah. I don't know what it is now.
The longer haired one.
The dude with dark hair could be one of my
the dark hair, yeah.
The fucking that dude, he comes through the camera like nobody else.
Magic Matt or something like that.
Dude, one of my low-key favorite prospects. Like, not that he's a prospect, he's on TV, but to watch him, I get pumped. Like, I feel myself going, I can't wait. It don't matter what anybody else is doing in the scene. I'm watching that dude. Like,
he's good
in the moment every time, man. Fucking real good. I liked him as the morning talk show bullshit, little tongue-in-cheek shit they had him doing in NXT too. He got it over like a half, Bill Swirsky super fans and half morning talk type thing. It was good stuff. Then we go backstage with Blackpool Combat Club with Wheeler Yuta. Everybody cuts the promo, putting it over that he's there, and then Wheeler Yuta gets the outline, and the whole promo comes to a screeching halt because there's just. He's way outgunned, bro. And it's you can set him up, and they had a good. They had 600,000 on Rampage, up from 400 and 500,000, and he got color, and he gets to work the top guy, and they're putting their chips on him. They're saying, "Hey, this guy's made." Okay, that was good spotlight. I'm not saying it wasn't, but when it's time to really carry the ball, and you're standing next to 3 top pros. you're not ready to it gets exposed on the mic. You can't just be a 1-star player in this shit in the ring. You got to know how to do character. You have to react, and you have to be able to fucking be in the right place at the right time as well. And a lot of people don't understand how to do that, and that kind of shines through here in 3 words. Like, ugh.
Bro, imagine the pressure. So you got Regal speaking, who's a very good promo. Then you have Brian Danielson, who's a very good promo. Then you have Jon Moxley, who is the best promo in AEW, second maybe only to MJF. You got to follow them, and you're a younger wrestler that is not known for your charisma, and now you got to say something. I was just waiting the entire time for this moment. Like, myself, I was anticipating and kind of scared for Wheeler Yuta, knowing what he had to live up to. And as soon as the
was it booked backwards? Was it
probably?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like he should have kicked it off, right? And gone, I popped huge this week, but did you see in the brand fan group they put up the Russoisms of the week, and Wheelie Huda was my that's what he called Wheelie Huda. I was laughing my
for
ass.
A shoot?
Yeah, well, Russo gets everybody's name
I
wrong.
know.
But yeah, that's
Wheelie
who he is.
Huda.
Dude, I would change my name to Wheelie Huda after that. That's fucking a better name.
You got to work on them promos. He did a great job in that match, and he's good in the ring. We've been putting him over in the ring.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, got to hit those promos.
But somebody on the Laurence Olivier or the Kenny Olivier AEW botches thing cut together a video of the Stone Cold thing and him bleeding, and like it just shows like one looks so indie and one looks so epic, where people keep comparing them. Oh, you want to compare them? Let's do it side by side. And it's not the same experience.
I've been out of the loop. People have been comparing that to Brett and Austin.
Yeah. Just because he's got him in a Boston crab and he's bleeding.
Oh, well then. Vet.
Yeah.
Oh, what on Wheeler Yuta? Yeah. Well, look, if you can't be as dynamic as the 3 other guys, just be honest. Like people will tear you apart for being boring or whatever, but just like he said, he got that go home line because it needed to be transferred to him. Now the real work begins. That's what whoever said to him in the ring, whether it was Moxley or Regal or whoever it was, I think it was Regal, whatever. So he has to be the one to say that. So it's just one line. He said it. It's fine. We don't have to beat him up too bad about it. He's not going to be getting out there and cutting promos about demons and highways and shit like that anytime soon.
What if they were coaching him on site and they knew he was bad? And they gave him the outline, and he does it. They're like, no, come on, give it again. Give it with, like, you see him punt. And by the 3rd try, he really delivers it. So he can start shitty, and they're coaching him in real time in the pro.
And we see this on camera?
Yes.
I'm good with that.
That gives him an out,
Or just a smack, a Regal smack. Say it like you mean it, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, now the work starts.
Yeah. Right. Now the work starts.
I mean, we should be booking some kind of show together, huh?
Should be, man.
Something like that.
Somebody hit me. Back from break, Schiavone's once with Jamie Hayter and Tony Storm. This is a weird promo, like that I kind of feel that Regal gave to them, and they can't deliver because they have had very little acting experience. Jamie Hayter talks about we've came up the same way through Japan and Europe, and this is our whatever, and now you're getting to know us, but I'm the one here and whatever. And then Tony Storm looks at her and walks away to go maybe take more gimmicks. I don't know what's going on from WrestleMania weekend, but to me, this is just asinine, like how to, in a way, to get somebody over. And really, Tony Storm, I think, is our next Kylie Ray. See ya, I'm out of the biz for 6 months to go to do what I need to do. And shout out to Kylie Ray. I saw she posted her 6-month sober chip as well. So if you're dealing with addiction issues and you need to get yourself right, it's not that we're trying to ridicule, but at the same time, I'm tired of putting people over who have less moral character and compass that get these spots only to fuck them up left and right. Well, I know plenty of people who can do that much better and are more reliable. So I'm not selling for anybody's celebrity and addiction in the ring. And then there was also talk of Jeff Hardy getting eggied by some people, office by Regal. because he might have not been in his right mind too last week.
I heard a little something about that.
Yeah.
I got a comment on the hater incident.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be my gripe of the week for AEW, and I've said this many times. This was once again horrible utilization of the women's division.
Mm-hmm.
Think about this. Every single promo we see from the women are shot at that scene right there. And in recent months, 90% of them is like one person talking, another woman runs in, some shit happens. This was more just like that. They get a 1 minute time in the same set. We had a great promo from Malachi Black in some mysterious setting, right? We get promos of John Moxley in a bar. We get promos of this guy over here doing that. We get MJF on a football field. The women get 1 minute to interact with one another in the same set every time with just weird contrived material. And then going down to the match later that you'll cover, we get 1 3-minute squash women's match of all the great women that are there, or even to highlight their champions, God forbid, Jade Cargill, Thunder Rosa. Instead, we get Shafir, who they're debuting and trying to push cool against Sky Blue, great little worker, but we get 3 minutes of action. Like,
why was
the
promo there to set that matchup with Sky Blue and Shafir? Instead, we're trying to set something up that's not even on the show that no one's going to give a shit about in a shitty promo that we just wasted time on. That's a pre-tape. It's not live.
YouTube.
It's in the can. It sucked anyway. Like, why would you put it on TV and not set up the other girls' match of two girls that we don't know at all either, you know?
Or God forbid we give the women 2 segments more than once a year. We could have had this in the ring with Tony Schiavone and Jamie Hayter. And what's her name? Tony Storm comes out. Oh, you think you're going to kick my ass? They get into a brawl, you know, get some action, build up the excitement of their match. You could do that scene in 3 to 4 minutes and then go and do the Shafir match in another 4 minutes.
Well, that show don't tell. That show don't tell instead of telltale. Vat, what are you thinking on these ladies?
Only thing I would say is, because you guys kind of covered a lot, but the only thing I would add was, do you like the subtlety of when Jamie Hayter goes, Are you gonna walk away? Oh, she just walked away. Like that's like that's a shot. That's a shot at Tony for WWE. So I like how they work in that stuff without beating you over the head with it.
There was another one of those Vet last night. I don't know if you caught. I think it was about couples in wrestling or something like that.
Was there something along those lines? Yeah.
Who's the guy that manages Top Team that I like?
Oh, Dan Lambert. Yeah.
Oh yeah. The we thought we got rid of the most annoying couple or whatever it was, but
turns out they're still in a
yeah, some good stuff there. Captain Sean Dean versus MJF. Sean Dean comes out looking like GI Bro. You know, it's whatever. And MJF comes out. This is working, you guys. He's got his as a heel, he's showing ass out of the gate. That his Burberry scarf is stuck in his jacket zipper, but it's really not stuck in his jacket zipper. He's just on the cell to lull him into a false sense of security until they can fucking get Wardlow to come over. And then when he's looking the other way, he buffaloes him. This is just old school 1983 shit right here, bro. And it's beautiful. And I started to bite on it because I'm a huge mark for people losing to their wardrobe before the match starts. So he's doing the sell on that, draws him in and kills him. I applaud it 100%. It was so good. Gets heat on him right away. And then all shit breaks loose with Wardlow. After the quick shine on GI Bro, Captain Dean, and he feeds out. Wardlow's in the crowd, does a great Goldberg reveal, and gets the facial over in the camera. We get the moment. MJF chicken shits out. Wardlow dives after him in the ring, swims through it. All look good. Here comes every indie worker you've ever seen in the world to fucking hold back Wardlow. And MJF escapes chicken shit style. And Dean gets a count out. We get it to 9. Wardlow stops the ref. No, hold on. I'll pay you triple, motherfucker. If you don't count me out, forget about what TK's paying you. I'll put you on the payroll. Rich guy shit. Ref has a moment of fucking, should I? Is it the money? No. Integrity. Ref hits 10, and on a count out, the crowd goes nuts. This is very similar. I'll put myself over after we do the round robin. So that's real doing real business right there, where everybody got over. Wardlow is the big baby face reveal. MJF gets the heel heat first. Sean Dean doesn't have to do shit except get a shine and take a count out. And then security comes to make Wardlow look super strong. Everybody in this seg got over how they should have. This was the best seg on the show.
This was perfect. My second favorite next to the Punk match. What's so great about it? And I mean, I know you love
That's
wardrobe.
a match. This is a segment that does business.
Yes.
This
I know
is
you love wardrobe malfunctions in pro wrestling.
Love them.
How funny would it have been if after MJF did the jacket spot and he went to zip it like a cool guy if it really got stuck? That's what I was waiting for. I was like, man, I hope it doesn't actually get stuck. But no, so brilliant, so smart. And I love that Sean Dean didn't have to do anything. I think he didn't even get anything in before Wardlow pops up in the crowd once MJF had thrown him to the floor. That was beautiful. The only part that was a little funny to me is when they went to the back and they showed some layout security guys, and one dude randomly had a shirt off with the Randy gut.
It was so good, dude. Randy's in Syracuse tomorrow. $25 a ticket. Yeah.
Tell him I said hello. And then the Goof Troop comes out and Wardlow goes through all of them, but the crowd is going nuts for it. MJF terrified. Best thing I could say about this is MJF could make a count-out loss mean something. Those are thrown away willy-nilly all over pro wrestling. He makes it feel like a loss. A count-out loss is generally a way to get out of a match while saving face.
Sure.
To him, it's a loss. He's sad about it. Like, I have not seen a count-out any time in recent memory that meant as much as that one.
Vet, punch-ups for this one. What are you thinking on this segment?
You know, it all worked for certainly the people there and probably for everybody watching at home too. Everybody seemed to have got what they wanted, like you guys said. Aside from the preposterous premise of all of this, like the whole thing about, oh, well, Wardlow doesn't work for you. He works for me, even though he's been having matches for you. So it's like, why would Tony Khan waste no time signing people to contracts? So why would Wardlow not get one immediately? If you don't use your brain and don't think about this for 1 second, yes, it's very entertaining. And I did like that part where the guy's out there with no shirt and Tony's like, where'd his shirt go? Like, I didn't know it would come into play later because Wardlow's wearing the shirt, but at the time, it was just funny on its own. Like,
I didn't even pick that up.
Yeah, no, that's a great detail. I didn't either, Vet. That's a good call.
Oh, you guys didn't see that? Like, I
didn't. I don't think it was like I didn't put that together with everything else that was going on. So
he had the security shirt so that he could walk up behind MJF. And the first thing I think of is, if you want MJF this bad and he's right there, why don't you just grab him? Well, the reason, I guess, is because if he grabbed MJF there, then MJF would win the match, and sure, he'd get his hands on him, whatever, but I guess he went for the long game humiliation, like losing to Sean Dean is much worse than me choking you to death right here.
And giving him an L, right? That's a very good point. And dude, there's a lot of detail in this that was very highly thought out, and I like this seg because nobody takes a bump. Everybody gets over, bro. And so we had the opener at Immortal last show. You know, I'm agent and everything pretty much, which is fine. But they're tying Joe Conway to me, a great worker from NYWC, Long Island area. He was just on the Impact thing for the contract and stuff. So a great heel. He's got the Raleigh Noodles mustache, you know, the whole nine. Oh, Raleigh fingers, not Raleigh Noodles. So I got a time with me. There's another guy who comes to the show that I used to manage from Rochester, Chris Worthless, big tattooed guy. God, he just looks like he's a hippie kind of dude. So we're going to go out and have a match. They do 3 minutes back and forth. He's getting heat on him, whatever. Out comes the comedy brigade while I'm coaching, while I'm managing the ringside, roll me up for the 24/7 title right out of the gate. Boom, place goes nuts. You know, like kids are going crazy after I get my heat. I start flipping out. I tell Joe, they took my title. We got to go get them. Fucking Joe leaves the to go with me. We get to the end, fucking 9. He starts to run back 10. Place goes nuts for a count out. Dropped the title, tied him with me, got the heat, and paid it off with the fucking dude who just showed up to do business, took 1 minute of heat, and 3 pieces done just like that out of the gate, bro.
Well
you can
done.
get any finish over if you do it right.
That's right, man. I go, when's the last time you heard a pop on a fucking count out like that anywhere? And there it was. And then here it is tonight, done the right way. Because we see countouts just mean nothing so much.
99% of the time.
Yep.
They mean
My favorite segment on the show, hands down.
yep. I'm gonna wrap on this note, boys, and let you guys take it from here. Keep doing your thing.
Where can they get at you this week for Team Death Proof Dojo?
Yeah, please do, man. We'll chat soon. I'm glad I could touch base with my friends over at LTF, and you guys are the best ever. I'll be here doing my thing. You know where to find me, Death Proof Dojo. I'll catch you guys next week, maybe.
All right, our best to Jenna, buddy. Be safe. Have a good time training.
All right, boys.
See you, pal.
There he goes, El Sexico himself. The
Follow him on all social medias for everything that's Death Proof Dojo related. And don't forget to catch NWA and see the Esquire himself. Definitely holding up fingers to let people know he's on the phone. So check it out, guys.
That's our guy, man, right there. There's one run, and we'll see if the other one makes it. I don't know. He hasn't seen it. That's great to have him back. Always, hopefully full time down the road. He's working his ass off, man. When you become a business owner, there's no stop. 7 days a week, 14 hours a day. He goes, I've been working 14 hours a day. I go, get used to that. 7 days a week, buddy. But it's rewarding. It's rewarding, man. Chris Jericho, Daniel Garcia, Jake Hager versus Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz, man. Isn't the
Whoa.
Oh, we went over the
first Darby gets a little mini movie.
Yeah, so this is Darby getting to paint with his brushes. I thought this was a commercial, so I half talked over it. I didn't see it because it was so different looking. I was like, this isn't. And they're like, no, it's challenged him to a coffin match, Andre El Idolo. So that's where we're going next with this. But Darby Allin's a filmmaker. He's got that Wes Craven eye. I liked the thing he did with Sting when they did the warehouse fight. Very Batman-esque, very good stuff there, man. So
only thing is, why did they play like the wedding music over this? Did you notice that?
I don't know.
The walking down that dun, 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 but like a slower version of it. But it was that like, why wedding?
Maybe they're going to get married at the end. Who knows? Maybe it's foreshadowing.
Cool.
Back from break, we get the Malachi Black, dark chiaroscuro lighting, half colored face. The guy is brilliant. I would love to direct this and direct a couple different takes. Not that his take was bad by any means. There's just some things I'd like to see delivery-wise to be like, ooh, does that feel a little nicer? How's that one feel? You know what I mean? Because this guy can deliver. He's at a very high level.
Yeah. I'm torn on this because I like the work that went into it. And I like that it's a little something different. But and what I'm about to say, you all must understand that I am a fan of this man. Like, I like him. What I know of him as a person and as a performer. So this is not me hating, but this is just an observation.
Just critical.
Yeah, like to me it doesn't matter how poetic your language is that you use or how dramatic the lighting and how intense and everything this cinematic presentation is. At the end of the day, you still put on tiny trunks and slap your leg. And so there has to be, in my view, a balance where you realize like your reach is exceeding your grasp with this artistic presentation, because pro wrestling only affords you so much that you're able to do in front of that audience. So like when you try to like bring it up here, then when people might get interested in that, and then when they see you, they're like, oh, well, you're just having a wrestling match now. So It's like, that's the problem with wrestling as an art form, or like a medium to get other artistic shit in, because the sport part holds it down, unless we're going full Lucha Underground where everything's just ridiculously phony. But like, you kind of have to strike a balance. Don't get too
Nosferatu movie, and then ding ding ding, you're under the lights having a wrestling match.
Yeah, and slapping your leg. And it's like, it's just there is that sort of dichotomy that you have to find. So it's up to him to find it. But like, this has been a problem over the years where high concept gimmicks have not been able to carry over when it's time for the bell to ring. The bell still has to ring.
It's the wrong feuds that they're doing it with, because we just see Darby Allin doing this. Why is Darby feuding with El Idolo? Because they were in some stupid Matt Hardy fucking clique together that was a botch from the beginning, and that's where we're going with it. But they both can work. The money is in Darby Allin versus Aleister Black. You have two dark guys, paint faces, and they both are into artistic shit. That's where the year feud is right there. But we're away from it. And the other thing is, I don't care how good of friends and buddy favors we are. Buddy Murphy's never gonna work. It's an anchor around your neck, you know what I mean? And the fact the guy's super jacked and still doesn't know how to get over, make him a lumberjack. I don't give a fuck. Do whatever you got to do. But I thought the Brody dude they put with him, that guy's got to look unto himself. But they weren't in this promo. And House of Black can be its own thing. And where is the other guy that they had him working with that should be the big feud is what's his name from WWE who came over to the fucking Welsh badass or whatever the fuck he called himself.
The Welsh badass? I missed that one.
The fuck his name is. They wanted to make a Mighty Mouse in WWE.
Yeah, Pac.
Yeah, where's Pac's the other guy that's should be in this, the bastard, right? If we're taking it from Game of Thrones, he's the bastard and whatnot. Here's your guys to put in the blender and whip it up. Now, if they're going to go do cinematic, or if they're going to do fucking boiler room brawl, or they're going to do inferno match, that's their flavor on the card, not it's shitty 6-time Buddy Murphy, Brody King, and then like against Eric Redbeard could be in that mix as well. But we're not having the right guys opposed each other, and nobody's getting over fully. They're all just kind of doing their own little bit, and it doesn't fit. And they're working on different puzzles.
Well, there is that. But like we talk about, what do we like on the show? We like something that involved CM Punk, and we like something that involved MJF. And those guys are supplying a lot of ideas for their own creative because they fucking get it. I think on the other hand, you got some guys, Aleister Black, he gets it to a degree, but he's relatively new in this. Now MJF is, but he's like a freak prodigy. So that's he's been
performing since he was 5 years old.
I know that, but that doesn't mean that a fucking thing. That's like, there's a lot of people that have been performing since they're 5 years old that don't get it. They just keep getting trotted back out there, but he gets wrestling.
Sure.
So I guess to a certain degree, Alistair's still learning it, and he's got to, get on their level. And if not, you have these lofty ideas that don't really fit into the medium you're working in,
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just got to be what lens are we going to show it through? And I like when they have their individual pieces, but it doesn't connect in a bigger overarching thing.
Right, right.
Back to the Jericho Appreciation Society.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be heels, but they're coming out to Judas, and the crowd is singing. That is not heel. That is not heel. Eddie Kingston, Santana Ortiz. The big talk was Eddie Kingston, man, looking more and more out of shape. I want this guy to succeed, dude. I really have a lot of appreciation for his promo skills, being a New York guy, really grinding for his whole career, getting fucked over, and then getting the spot and shaking things up. I know he deals with mental issues. It looks like I know what the Band-Aid is, and that's fucking Wendy's at 2 a.m. or whatever it is. He's just packing on pounds. I mean, Samoa Joe kind of possibly the same thing. There was some stooge report that wrestler Low Key is kind of at a low point right now and is actually living with Eddie Kingston, rumors are. So, helping a good brother out, but at the same time, I've never experienced it firsthand. low-key's got some baggage that comes with him too, from acting like he's over in places and people not wanting to work with him, and that maybe has come back around. I'm not trying to relish in anybody's pain that way, but we talk that real talk. So anything can happen to anybody, and myself and yourself included. But I'd like to see Kingston have the shot. Same with Kevin Owens. Just lose the 30 pounds, bro. Fucking do it for your own health and future and benefit, because when you got to put the t-shirt over the singlet to come out, like, and I don't know what the thump t-shirt was supposed to mean or anything like that. If that's an insider thing, let me know. But I don't know, man. It just made me kind of sad, because I want to see these guys succeed so badly that I know have worked their fucking ass off, left, myself included. But Hager does a lot of the damage in here. A lot of people were really impressed with him.
I'll tell you what I wasn't impressed with. What the fuck was he wearing?
Yeah, dude.
Looked like the 3-pack of zany boxer briefs that you fucking like. What in the hell? He looked like shit, bro. He looked in shape, but like that gear does not work for him. He's got to wear some kind of like the Muay Thai shorts or something. I know that's not what he wears in the MMA, but just for his body type, there's a symmetry to everything that you put on, whether it's like, like little things that bug me. I don't know if they subconsciously reach other people as well, but I know what I'm looking at and I can articulate it. For example, the kind of tights that Wheeler Yuta wears, his knee pads need to be on the outside. It looks weird when they're on the inside. Most people are probably like, Vet, what the fuck are you talking about? Who cares about that? But I'm just saying, like, those things do subconsciously play, like, in the symmetry of your presentation. And the way Jake Hager's upper body is compared to his lower body, he can't be wearing form-fitting tights if he's not in a shoot fight. He's got to wear the shorts that flare out to give him, like, to make it look as though, like, his legs are bigger around the hip area.
Dude, so I've worked shows with him in the last like 3 or 4 years, right? And I chained with him at OVW one day, I remember, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, this guy could take you off your feet anytime you want to. But then we're in the locker room. It's not his fault. It's just his, and I'm sure he's self-conscious about it, like everybody in our vanity industry is. Dude, his legs are beanpole thin, and he just can't put size on them. But for some reason, they give him lightning fast shoot abilities, and his upper body is fucking so strong and jacked that he can do it. But I said to myself, I go, in a wrestling match, this guy would tune me up, no problem. But in an MMA stand and fucking fight and throw power, I think I could do some damage on him, bro.
Push him over at least.
Because my lower body, my legs are fucking, I got a fat fucking upper body torso. But my legs are jacked, and I got super strong calves that, like, you would think would be on a guy's frame like that. But it seems like a couple front kicks and calf kicks, that fucking fight could be over quick. And I got nice hands too. I'd like to stand and bang in a fucking little sparring session with Jake, and I got nothing but respect for him. We'll go smoke a big one after. But I think I could hang in there with the Hagermeister. What do you think, Vat? I got something for him?
No, he'll piece you up real quick and show you the inside of your own asshole. But
will you pull him off me when he gets too?
Oh, sure. Well, I'll take him, but you, though, on the other hand, no.
Thank you, Vat.
No, but all that being said, like, yeah, some people genetically, they are just shaped a certain way, but that's why you have gear. You can wear whatever you want. It's not a uniform in pro wrestling. You can wear whatever you want. So pick something that flatters you. I talk about
the positives, hide the negatives, and of his legs
in everything in life. That's what we always want to do. The one thing that I always talk about when talking about the ladies, like, there's certain ladies that aren't fat enough to have the fat gimmick, but they're a few pounds overweight. But I don't understand why they all like have that 2-piece where it's like the bra and panties look, but they only have that one slim strip of stomach. It's like, just make a singlet. You know what I mean? Like Dewdrop gets it, but she is big enough to have the giant fat gimmick. But for some reason, there's girls that are kind of flabby that just let that one thin strip of stomach around, and I don't get that. And the same thing with the guys. Like, I'll say the same thing. Like, if you got skinny legs, wear shorts. You don't have to wear the boxer briefs from Walmart or whatever. But anyways,
Dewdrop's gonna get clipped in the bloodbath here in the next 48 hours or no?
Perhaps. But I don't know. There's definitely something to be done there, but they've already fucked it off out the gate. But that's a whole other conversation.
Right.
Let's talk about this match.
Yeah.
Do you like heels up with a post-match beatdown as well? Like,
yeah, like strong on strong, and they're all standing there. And again, I'm watching my dude get his facial expressions in. It popped the shit out of me. But Jericho causes the finish with draw the ref, and actually Aubrey was looking right at him and turns away to run around for no reason while Jericho delivers the bat shot so they can go into the finish. One thing that because I liked LAX's work in Impact, man, especially their scene work in those gangster scenes, but they were working weird tonight and not up to the standard I think that they usually do. There was weird bad kicks and some strikes and some selling that I didn't really care for, that they left me scratching my head, because I've seen Santana deliver on a better way. So I'm not sure what was going on there, man, but it could be one of 100 things. I was more like, man, I want Kingston to be in shape. But Kingston hits exploder suplex. Kingston goes for a spinning back fist. Garcia pushes him off. Jericho sneaks the bat shot. Aubrey looks like, what? And then Jericho, they beat him there with the finish. So, or Jericho up. No, right? Garcia comes.
Garcia got the pin.
Yeah.
And
Jericho
then
that shot to Kingston.
Well, yeah, and then did you notice how he had the bat and then he just puts it down and hits the Judas? Like,
yeah.
Why do you even have a bat? Obviously, your elbow is so devastating. Your spinning back elbow that is basically everybody's reversal out of a waist lock now. But that's your finisher.
Did you see the UFC one that cleaned the fucking clock on that one, dude?
Oh,
one chick, the chick fucking hit one, and it was all over, bro. It was good night. Well, because everyone was like, did she just hit him with a Judas effect?
Yeah, the Judas effect. But well, yeah, all things considered, though, I'll still take the baseball bat. But yeah, like, talk about a guy that, we're talking about guys that know their business, and then you talk about a guy like Jericho who should know more than everyone, and he constantly disappoints me with the choices he makes in all of his in all of his scenes, segments, matches, whatever.
Yeah.
I just, and again, coming from a Chris Jericho fan, anybody that's been to see Fozzy, raise your hand. Okay. But that doesn't, if you go out there and do things that I know you know better than, how can I sit here with paying customers and say any less than calling you out for it? Like, I don't know. I've been disappointed with Chris.
He'll be back in WWE soon enough, buddy. Don't worry. Yeah, man. Backstage, Alex Marvez is with MJF again. They told him to shut the fuck up. Sterling says he has the right to book Wardlow against anyone he wishes. MJF says he has the best idea, and he hands an envelope to Jose, the assistant, who suddenly appears and says he's going to send for the Butcher to go after Wardlow. The Butcher appears and screams and goes, under his chin, which I don't know if that's what that means, but fucking Butcher looks awesome and psychopathic and crazy, and that's a good pick for, like, let me put somebody in the way with a paid off fucking hitter. And then when Wardlow beats him, he beats somebody that's bad as fuck that they thought was the dude, and MJF can scatter and run again. I think this is booked well and set up, very wrestling basic.
Except for one thing, has the Butcher ever won a match ever in his life?
Well, now he's jacked, so he can. Florida water.
All right.
Then we get out of nowhere, Marina Shafir versus Sky Blue. And, when the wrestling gets bad, we go right to Pussy Cam. Let's show them cakes, and let's show that fucking ass, because if we keep trying to show that they can't do basic chain wrestling and have no rhythm or know where the camera is, then we're going to show your snatch for some fucking quick memes on Twitter. Good job, girls.
I can't wait to see Marina and Jade. This is going to be my can't miss match. Now, again, I like Marina. I have liked her.
But she came out like she just got out of working out. Like, the hair's in cornrows and it's weird. Like, she woke up. Like, if you're going to do the cornrow fighter on the way to the fucking ring, let's get it done right. It looked like the presentation looked messy to me, before the bell rang.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure what was going on there. Could be last minute changes or things that those are the kind of things we don't know unless we're there. Like if some weird thing happened, like we were talking about with the.
You're not wrong. I can't say what I've heard, but there's some things I know that where things can get called last minute there, and nobody's made it to hair and makeup yet.
Sure, and like you never know with like you talked about the Tony Storm and Jamie Hayter thing that could have been like, oh shit, we forgot to put this in here. Well, let's do this real quick. And maybe that's why they don't have like an exotic locale to have their interview in. But anyway, but yeah, I definitely think that the WWE has dropped the ball with certain people, and I think the original 4 Horsewomen of MMA was one of those things that could have been big. If they had done it right up till now, then we wouldn't have to watch Ronda and Charlotte sleepwalk through their segments. We could be getting something kind of interesting there. But nonetheless, no use crying over spilled milk. But I think Marina just doesn't have the reps that she was there at the Performance Center, and she was doing okay when I saw her and Jessamine as a tag team, but they hardly ever used her. And then like on TV anyway, they were mostly at like house shows, so there was no way to see their progress. So I can't judge them on that, but she spent enough time down there that she should know. Now, Sky Blue, pretty young.
You liked when they changed Raquel Gonzalez to Raquel Rodriguez from one fucking stereotype name to the next.
Yeah, that's the level of creativity. And again, you had her under contract for how long that you could have done this? You could have brought her in as Raquel Rodriguez.
Hey, Gonzalez doesn't sound right to me. How about Rodriguez?
She said, doesn't sound right. It's my fucking name. That's her shoot name. Gonzalez is her name.
That's why they changed it so they can own it.
But they should have done that when they signed her at NXT. Right. They should have,
right.
So, anyways, yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing what somebody like Marina is going to do with Jade Cargill, who has had even less matches than her. Should be great.
There's talk that she might end up going to WWE. Jade Cargill.
Jade Cargill? Well, not if you go by what she says out of her own mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about the money. Well, I think she's making good money here, and if she knows what's good for her, she'll stay where she's at.
I don't know. I think they put her with through the system, and EST and her could do some real biz.
She'll never make it. She'll never even make it to EST.
Okay.
They don't like people full of themselves down there.
Right. Marina Shafir defeats Sky Blue via submission, triangle choke. Dude, Marina Shafir is a real shooter. Can't take nothing away from her, but
Mrs. Roderick Strong as well.
Mrs. Roderick Strong, yeah, absolutely, and a prime athlete. I think she's got like a unique face. Like sometimes she looks a little brutish, and then they shoot her a different way, and you're like, wow, she's really pretty. And then it's almost like her face changes from the side profile to the straight on shot there. It's interesting to look at as a director because those are two interesting shots that you can get out of one person. I think that's a cool thing. And the fact that she's emoting, that's light years ahead of a lot of girls in this fucking business.
Right. And she's trying to do the Stone Cold Killer thing, and she's not enough reps for her, and Sky Blue not experienced enough to properly sell that and get that over. So that's the reason why what you saw was awkward.
I don't know much about her, but I like when people mix shooter style in, and they can do it well. Like Bobby Fish, I think does it better than most. Kyle O'Reilly's done a really good job with it, and here she is. So I'm down. But this match kind of left people like, why the fuck are we having this out of nowhere?
Well, this actually was built up to. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but they actually built this for about 3 weeks. So
okay, I'm wrong then. I'll take that out.
You were enjoying a nice vacation.
Lexi Nair is with Hook. Next week, Hook will go. Right. There you go. I can send for him. Tony Nese and Mark Sterling stroll into the frame. Hook gets up and quickly leaves. And then Danhausen is behind Hook and tries to curse him. Hook casually tosses a medicine ball over his shoulder. Danhausen catches and fall down. I mean, this is the kind of Abbott and Costello, Three Stooges shit I like to steal from too. So I'm pumped to see it. Hook looks cool and the comedy gets over. Back from the break, we get TNT champs Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, and Dan Lambert backstage. Funny promo with some digs in it. Sky said to defend his title against Sammy Guevara. Battle of the Belts, dos. I'm sure it'll be a solid match. We'll see if somebody does a 630 splash through a table to kick things off and then wrestles 12 minutes after that.
Certainly will. I wish this is what they had, or excuse me, I wish this had been what they had done with Dan Lambert from the beginning and not started with the whole MMA bullshit and started with him trashing the company and saying how Tony Khan's an idiot, even though he gives you a microphone every week somehow. Like that, like I wish they had not done that and just brought him in just to be the manager that he kind of has settled into now. It was just sort of disingenuous and extra phony at the start. So now it's like tolerable. And let's face it, guys like Scorpio Sky need a Dan Lambert or even an Ethan Page to a degree.
No, Ethan Page can get over on him. Dude, that guy's got fucking a lot of heel.
No. What I mean is Scorpio Sky needs an Ethan Page to a degree as a partner to add some spice because I just have no reason to watch Scorpio Sky otherwise.
He's a natural
offense to him,
but they're trying to make him a heel. They're not playing to what he should.
Yeah, it should never.
He's too athletic.
Either way, he's boring either way, so it's not his fault. Just
Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs versus Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. I like that. Dude, on paper, that's a hot match, right? So crowd's hot for Ricky Starks, even though he's the heel. Comes out with big man, and he's choking back tears. Like that's a real moment where he's biting his lip and like looking because he doesn't want to cry as a heel. But I can't explain the miles we put in to come back and have people who either hated on you or believed in you, and they're there and you're shining bright standing on the pillar. That's a real human moment, no matter what we do as performers. And you can see the emotion being held back, which makes it real. You know what I mean? So while he's trying to do it. So a big shout out to Ricky Starks, especially with the neck injury, and to be able to get that moment and come back. I like that kind of shit right there. So then Strickland comes out and gets his entrance. And who's his partner going to be? But the big man, Keith Lee, who I believe probably has lost about 10 pounds in the last 2 weeks, man. He wrestled with his shirt off here. You could see it. He's got a ways to go, but I'm glad to see, like, instead of some dudes we talked about earlier who are just comfortable and sloppy, he looked at himself, or somebody told him, you got to fucking lose weight, big man. And he's working hard. And it ain't easy when you're that big and your metabolism slows down to fucking shed those pounds. So I'm sure he's working his ass off. Big up to him. Back and forth here, drop kicks, tags, the hot tag I didn't like in this. A big breakup. Hobbs is just like fucking Incredible Hulk when he comes in, bro. He could even be played up and as bigger and stronger. I did pop when fucking when Starks was gonna gut wrench Keith Lee and he gets cut off.
He turned bright red. He turned redder than that little Fuse logo down there when he tried to pick him up, but he got him up a tiny bit. That was
you got to be careful what you have for dinner. You might shit your pants.
Yeah, he definitely. Yeah, so
it made me laugh big time.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I'm with this match, and everybody looks how they should. Strickland springboard moonsault off a chest elite to the outside on a Starks and Hobbs. I got pissed off at that spot because I think back to God damn it, what's his name? I just had it at the tip of my tongue. There's a dude, he posts a ton on Instagram and Facebook that we trained with. He does stunts now. The black dude who fucking can do all the crazy flips. Unfortunately, not BKNY. Rest in peace to that brother. But God damn it, it's gonna drive me nuts. He's done a lot of movie sequences and stuff now. Like you always see him at the gym, like backflip, cartwheel, fucking whatever, lift 400 pounds, and then he gets up and does some crazy shit. But
I'm not sure who you're referring to, but
that's gonna drive me nuts, Vet. God damn it!
Well, you'll think of it. You'll think of it.
But I remember we were in practice, and he did the one-legged moonsault off my chest out of the corner. I don't think I've ever been hit that hard because he's a big, dense motherfucker, and he killed me that day in OVW. I was fucked up for like 3 days after that. But he's a nice guy. But that when I saw that springboard out there, I was like, that fucking hurts worse than people know. Back from the break, Hobbs on Strickland. Strickland escapes a slam, tags Lee. That's where I was like, that should have been a lot bigger right there. Like, could have been. They go back and forth some more, and I'll shout out to our OVW brother, even though we weren't there at the same time. I had met him. Steven Smith, Rump Thump, is the referee for this one, so I like everything going on in this match, bro. And then Taz makes his way to ringside to a big babyface EC Dub chant, and then you kind of forget about it that he's there, and he stays small because he knows he's over as a baby, and he's a top pro, until it's time to just have him quick hook the leg on Lee for a half-second distraction till fucking heels can go over. Hobbs comes in, Lee powers up, Hobbs escapes, Tabs grabs the foot, Hobbs hits this big spine buster. Simple as that. 1, 2, 3, dude. This was a good match. I could have asked for more on the hot tag. Starks, I was happy for, and the gut wrench, they had me at that. So keep going.
I like everybody in this match.
Me too.
Let me start with that. There are few. Look, I don't know if you all know this, guys, but I watch a lot of wrestling. Okay, and I can't literally stare at it all. I have to just sort of let it be on, and then I get pulled in. And there are certain people that, when they're on television or whatever screen, I will stop what I'm doing and watch. Keith Lee is one of those guys.
Okay.
And you'll appreciate this, Ben. You've seen the movie The Founder, right?
I don't know if I
With
have.
Michael Keaton, about the guy that took the McDonald's franchise.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
No.
you've seen it, right? Okay.
I worked at McDonald's headquarters, bro.
Ooh. Hey,
yeah, it's a fucking weird place.
I imagine the whole thing is it's just like the play place at the McDonald land. No, but there's a scene in that movie where it's like where the Michael Keaton is like, he's talking to the original McDonald's guy, like the guy that he bought it from or whatever, and he's like, "You don't even get it, do you? You don't even know what you had, right?" And the guys looks at him and he's like, "It's the name." But the point, the significance of that scene is that there's something that, can touch certain people without even them knowing it, right? And despite everything else, like, the golden arches, like the food, all that stuff, it's just like that name McDonald's, he latched onto that and saw that there was something there. With Keith Lee, it's like, yes, he's a big guy. Yes, he can do these amazing things or whatever. He looks like he should definitely be in wrestling or whatever. But the first time I ever saw Keith Lee, it was none of that. It was he walked through the curtain and he does that smirk, that fucking smirk that he does. And I was like, this guy should be on top of this entire fucking business. Just from the smirk.
He can go. He would do things that he didn't need to do. I saw him at NXT house show in Buffalo. He fucking stole the show, man. Right. Absolutely. So
which he'll always do that. But yes, Ray Kroc, that's the one. Thank you, Aaron Ben Shlomo. But yeah, that's the thing. He doesn't even need that. He just needs that smirk that he has. It's that smirk. I don't care if he talks like Fraser Crane. I don't care if he does 450 moonsaults, whatever. It's that smirk that will make him all the money in this business and why people love him. And they don't even know that's why. They think it's other things, but it's that. And so anyway, that being said, let's go to Swerve. He, when you hear announcers say things like "no wasted motion," like about guys. Well, he's the opposite of that. Like, he does a lot of wasted motion, but he's cool and the people are with him, and that's all you can really ask for. Hobbs, talk about a guy that transformed his physique. This guy has done a complete. Remember how fat and chubby he used to be, like when he first came in, and now look at him. Like, he's gone through that whole transformation, that complete transformation, and now he's looking like what he needs to look like. Yeah. However he went about it, that's his business.
The advice. He just took some advice.
The advice, lots of advice. Be sure to always take your advice under the care of a physician. But yeah. And so he's come a long way, and he's new in this business too, but he doesn't look like it. And then of course Ricky Starks, like you said, the big comeback. Was this really his first action since he's been back? I guess I didn't even realize it, because he's never really gone away. He's always been on commentary or backstage or whatever. But Yeah. And to that point, this crowd was hot for everything all night. Like, these people really wanted to see some wrestling. It's like they hadn't seen any in a while.
And this is why the last month shows like this have really been good, booked differently, not the roller coaster ride that you really want to go on. But when you're done with it, you're like, okay, that was interesting. It leads me a certain way. I don't know. Like,
Right.
but that's learning on the fly. And these guys delivered. They all needed to shine, and they all did. I thought this was real good,
Yeah.
man.
Now, the only other thing I would say is I don't like Keith Lee losing. It should have been Swerve going under, because the heat of a giant Will Hobbs spine bustering much smaller Swerve Scott plays a lot better. And Lee and Hobbs should not have even touched until this point. They probably shouldn't even touch at this point, because there's a long-term program there. But we've already had Keith Lee beat Will Hobbs on TV. So it's like, okay, well, you fucked that up. But now they're thinking like, well, we'll get Will Hobbs one on Keith Lee here. No, you don't do that. You don't get one on Keith Lee. You get another match with Keith Lee by beating Swerve or something like that, because he's the guy that should, if you want the heels to go over. Now, if you want the babies to go over, I say Keith Lee goes over Ricky Starks.
That's what I would have booked. But you're in your hometown. You got over in your entrance. They love you. Don't give you're the heel team. When you go over, they're gonna babyface pop. When you go under, they're going to be like, oh, what the fuck a little bit. But at the same time, babies are up over the fucking heel guy. And it shows that, and for those who don't know, in wrestling tradition, you go under in your own hometown most of the time. There are exceptions to the rule, but
that's a WWE tradition. I don't know if that's necessarily a historical wrestling tradition.
I think it works, bro. Like, because you're already over. You're already getting the merch. You do business for somebody else. You know what I mean? That's
There's certain guys that at a certain point in time in the business, if I would have went under, or like if I would have went over them, I would have been struggling with my life to get out of that town. So I don't, there's a time and place, but
usually it's the big payoff if you've gone under on smaller shows of what it's going to be. And I think it should have been Keith Lee on Starks here, but I didn't mind the finish either way. It was good.
Yeah.
Then we get your main event for AEW is Ring of Honor.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I guess.
But Samoa Joe is all elite. So.
Okay. I guess. Minoru Suzuki versus Samoa Joe. Bobby Cruz's ring instructions. Lethal and Dutt are at ringside because they're the faces of ROH. Full entrance for Suzuki, complete with Kaze Ninare. Is that how you say it? Or K's 9?
Yeah, no, you had it right the first time.
That's what I figured. Suzuki and Joe stared us, started off, and then we get 6 minutes of chops.
Oh, yeah.
Just chops back and forth, big titty shaking. And Joe's taking it easy on the old man. Well, the old man's fucking lighting him up. Like, you get one or two of those. And then after that, like, if you want to keep taking chop liberties because you know, like, oh, this guy won't get me back because I'm who I am, fuck you.
Right.
I'll give you what you give me. So Joe could have lit him up a little bit more, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
We do some whip, reverse, snapmare, Ben Hamin offense, great stuff. Suzuki pulls Joe in for a pile driver, but doesn't hit it. He wants to trade more chops with Joe. So here we go. More chops and more chops. Sleeper hold. They break the hold. Gotch style pile driver, and Joe can't get up. Suzuki locks in a sleeper again. Joe backs him in the corner, break it. Joe puts Suzuki on the top rope, wants the muscle buster, but Suzuki goes to an arm bar. Little kind of slow motion. And Joe powers out, gets the muscle buster, and gets that pin. Samoa Joe is the Ring of Honor World TV Champion, so we get a big switch right there, and then Sanjay Dutt and Lethal hit the ring to taunt Joe. We've got Impact 2014 going down, and then out comes the big man we talked about earlier, Satnam Singh, 7'3", a professional basketball player from India who signed last September with AEW, and he clotheslines Joe. Lethal and Dutt beat the shit out of him, and we get the beauty pose to take it home with the big man, Sanjay and Lethal, with a down Samoa Joe, the new ROH champion. Is that the best idea to do to a champion where you just had him beat the legend that's the New Japan tie-in to then overbook this to get this guy over and have people going when it should be about ROH new champ. There was just too much here, for my opinion, bro.
Well, that's typical AEW now, isn't it? Now, people that don't protect their own creative, obviously Suzuki doesn't care. He's gone. Joe just got there. He's not going to start throwing his weight around. Ha ha ha.
Mm-hmm.
But so when it comes to not even the problem with AEW is they just don't let things breathe. They don't let things breathe. It's like Silvio was saying earlier about a women can't have an interview segment without somebody interrupting or anything. Like we there's just like a very ADD, impatient sort of overall feel to these kind of
Sting
things.
had 13 promos in a row where he barely got 2 lines out and got interrupted.
Right, and that became almost like a rib into itself. Like, how many times can we do this? So,
people are putting over Gunther's chops and Joe's. Or dude, nobody chops harder than Von Lilas. If you put Von Lilas in there, that fucking Suzuki would have been like, "I'm retired, bro. I'm out of here." He wouldn't stand there for more than 3 against Von.
Oh, Suzuki likes it, so he wants a Von Lilas. He probably was upset with Joe, and that's why he kept hitting him. Like, come on, But anyway, so the way I think this sort of played out is a deal where, okay, Joe probably is like, okay, I'm coming in. And Tony's like, what do you want to do? He's like, well, I like to work with Suzuki at some point. I was like, okay, well, guess what? He's here in America. I'll just have him take the TV title off of Rhett Titus, and then he can drop the belt to you. Sure. It's probably like a very simple thing because, what would happen if you wanted to just put the belt on Joe and he brought Rhett Titus in? No offense to Rhett Titus. I have nothing but respect for Rhett Titus, but what would happen? What do we always do? We're going to roast Tony Khan for putting some guy we've never heard of in the main event with Samoa Joe randomly. So he didn't do that. He found a workaround because Suzuki's on a tour right now and he's getting ready to go back soon. So why not? Why not kill 2 birds with 1 stone here? And now instead of letting this be the moment of itself, now we've got to overbook the finish where we've got a bunch of other business going on because we already set up the stuff from 2 weeks ago with last week with Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt now with Samoa Joe. So that's why they were there, because of what happened the previous week. Okay. And now they bring in this giant guy for, it is just a little much.
If only they had a giant that they had signed before.
Yeah, I don't even know where they could find a giant. It's a bunch of BS, I'll tell you that.
And Big Show versus Samoa Joe is interesting if you wanted to do that, you know what I mean? Or intro this guy and have him go at Big Show instead of Samoa Joe out of the gate. So just some weird, confusing stuff. And it also takes Jay Lethal from a top, like your IC Intercontinental title level performer to a manager level to some degree. I'm not really sure where they're going with the ROH stuff, but this all ties in with that. But putting the ROH title on the AEW main event is a weird thing. And then if you were really going to do that for a specific reason and shine other companies, even though you own it, and the forbidden doors open, it's not with this Indian guy. It's with Mahabali Shera, the OVW champion. That's all better business to shine wrestling than it is to march a guy out for a freak show spot and have everybody like, what are we doing? So a strange way to end the show because Suzuki doesn't really get the shine going out that he should. And it's about this guy, and Joe wins the title and that shine gets clipped. So triple overbooked in this, in my opinion here, bro.
Well, did you like the match?
No, it's just chops. It was stupid.
Did you like the chops?
No, because Joe should have hit him back harder than when Suzuki started taking liberties on him. I would have fucking lit the old man up hard.
Yeah. Well, this is a typical of Suzuki, but again, this goes back to the whole, what else are you going to see tonight? Well, let's do what's not that. And that's kind of what you can expect.
Sure.
So
everything did have its own flavor tonight, man. I gotta say, the count out seg is what I pop for big. I love the fucking tag match that we just talked about. The opener with Punk and Penta minus Buddy at ringside. The girls tried, but they really didn't have the setup to get over, and at least it was quick. One thing we missed, Nyla Rose and
the cake
with Thunder Rosa, and Thunder Rosa doesn't fall for it. Nyla Rose gets a cake in the face. Is that racist? Is Nyla Rose doing whiteface? And is it racist if Captain Sean Dean puts black camouflage paint on his face if a black guy wears blackface?
No. Answer no to both. Yeah. I think the big takeaway from this show that I have was I like that whatever you thought of the main event, I like that there was a main event, like Silvio said, that we wanted to see. And that's what's been missing, because they've been front loading it, and then the back hour is bad and totally missable. Yeah. And there's no reason, with all the people you have there, there's no reason you can't hold one match back to be the last match. You can have some crap in that second hour at the beginning or the middle portion, but the main event should be strong too, and there's no reason you can't give them something. I do find it hilarious that the way to get what's his name? What's the kid's name? Daniel Garcia and 2.0 out of the main event is to put him with Chris Jericho. That's the way to get him out of those main events. Go with Chris Jericho. So, but that's what we've been used to seeing, and that's where people are like, who the fuck is Daniel Garcia? Why do we have to watch Daniel Garcia in the main event? Why is 2.0 in the main event every week? You know, that's the questions we were hearing. Now, if we can just start to get good main events for Dynamite, you can throw people on in that little dead zone, and like after the top of the second hour, you know. But as long as you finish strong, that's the key thing.
Nice. Yeah, I think it's a great point, Vet. And this was a bigger main event feel. But then they just overbooked it too hard instead of fucking letting it
get out of their own way. Get out of their own way.
But we got out of the way here because the demo comp's ready to blow, infidels. It's a AEW triple threat HMG channelattitude.com. Dynamic, spectacular. Big shout out to the Chris Silvio team, Death Proof Dojo, doing the run in. Also, a worker from there, Blake Troop, going to be out in Las Vegas this weekend doing a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu combo weed tournament, and he's on team RVD CBD. So represent Rob Van Dam. He's going to have Horseshoe Genetics logo and HMG logo on his tights. So we're going to be represented out there. You guys can watch it on YouTube live for free. So check out Blake Troop. I'm sure on all of his social media he'll have stuff posted, but I'm going to be tuning into that, man. Maybe I'll get stoned and go do some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu so I can hopefully get a chance to beat Jake Hager.
I was going to say, to improve the chances, yes.
I bring it back to you, Vet, man, no doubt. Can they find you, Vet? What do you got going on this week? I know you're doing more shows here at HMG.
More. How many shows can we do, Kobe? More shows. Definitely, you can find me anywhere that HMG is popping up, probably. You can find your 2-time Hammy Award winner at Opinion Haver on all the social media platforms. And so just stay tuned. You never know when I could get an emergency call like this. The vet phone lights up, and and I will answer. And it was fun to get to talk to my friends here about some wrestling, and I'm down to do it anytime.
And some deep cut Alaskan assassin lines. That's what I'm taking away, baby.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a great time, man. And I always do with you, Vet. I look forward to it when we get the chance to roll around here, man, for 2 hours over that, going for Big Ray's record here. And thanks to everybody in the chat room, YouTube, Ben Hamin channel, and twitch.tv/Hamin Media last night with the watch alongs. I had to go out and do a perimeter patrol because some kids were raising hell and I had to scare them away. But yeah, you guys know where it is. You're already subscribers. And if you're not, please help us spread the word. The channelattitude.com is the place for Russo brand HMG and more shows coming soon to subscribe. The best staff in professional wrestling journalism, analysts. There's no doubt. It's the only place where the pros truly are, where they're not just trying to relive the past from 25 years ago with the real talk breakdowns. Hey, shout out to K100. They're doing their thing. We listen to Cult of Cornet too, all that stuff, man. And we bring our own opinions because we are opinion havers, infidels. And if you don't like that, then we got to light this fuse and blow the roof off, infidels. Hacker Hamin, the Vet, 2-time Hammy Award winner, infidels. You know what it is. Oh, shit.
First of all, Don't tell me what to do.
Japanese.
Ding dong.